All right, here we are. Better late than never. We're on a designer show. Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Here we are. Here we are at the Black Stallion in North Carolina doing our designer show after we got it finally figured out with our audio. It's all a joy. It's always a joy to do these shows when we try to get everything set up and it doesn't work. So, gotta love technology, especially when it works. Anyway, welcome to the show. We are live from the summit. At this point, we're going to just randomly talk about some of the things that we've been discussing here at the summit. Renee, you got some things you want to talk about that you've been working with?
He
John,
can't
you
hear
got
you
some
right now.
suggestions? Renee
He,
can't hear me.
no, Dan said, "Hey, Renee, do you have things you want to talk about?" Here, we'll get
Too
Renee.
many technical difficulties. Well, I'm on mic at least.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get started.
All
I'll get
right.
started. All right. First of all, again, we're here at the summit. We're having a ball. It's been a wonderful week. The weather's been great. Everybody here is super, super nice, and we're sharing content and ideas all day long. So we're really having a lot of fun. And wish you were here, but you're not. So anyway, uh, so we've been talking a lot about different topics here. And one of the topics that we talked about this morning was Pouchet. And is that how we say that? Pouchet?
Yep.
Poche.
Crochet. It's
Crochet.
French.
Yeah, we're going, oh, we're talking French. It's Pouchet. Um, is that French? I don't know.
It is.
Anyway, and we came up with a really great way to use it. And I'm going to share some of that. Renee, I don't know what you have in mind that you wanted to share today, but I'm sure you'll come loaded with all sorts of great information. There's some of the people at our show. All right, we're getting a little feedback there, so we got to mute. Let's mute Kevin.
Yep.
There he is. Kevin's muted. All right, Kevin, you have to unmute yourself to talk. All right, so I'll get started here. First of all, something new on our site that we are going to start promoting since Summit's already coming and it's going, that you can look for if you're out east. We are going to be coming to Rockville, Maryland in May for a class. So if you go to chiefexperts.com, let me share my screen and let me go here and present. Share screen and the entire screen. All right, let me share that. And let me run over to Chief Experts and show you where you can find out information about our next class that John and I will be doing in Rockville, Maryland. So it's it'll be two 2-day classes. We'll do a beginner intermediate class the first 2 days, which is really more intermediate, but we will work with beginners as well. And then the last 2 days, we'll discuss intermediate advanced topics. So it's a lot of fun. It's a really good class that we get into, and and everybody gets a lot out of it. So the page here will list everything that we'll be doing on those days. John and I will be there. And there's day 1 and 2, the things we'll be discussing, and day 3 and 4, the things we'll be discussing. You can sign up for either the 2 days, or you can sign up for all 4 days. So whatever you're looking for. If you have questions, feel free to give me a call. And just a FYI, we do tend to, I mean, we have topics here which are basic suggestions, because our classes, we've found over the years, they do change as we find out who's in the room. Some people, sometimes we'll have more beginners than intermediate or advanced. So we'll kind of adjust our teaching techniques to match the people in the room. So we want to be sure that everybody's going away with lots of information from our classes. All right. So that's a little bit about that. So feel free to check on that. Check in with me if you have any questions about that. Let's get back to the chief architect and talk about Pouchet. We had some fun with that. Jill in our class brought up this topic because she does a lot of this with her marketing materials, and so she was working with John yesterday, and they really dug into it and came up with some really great ideas. So let's just get into this and talk about how you might set this up in your plan in Chief Architect. So I'm just going to draw some room with some walls, put a few doors and things in it. And Poche is one of those things that it colors the walls a different color, a solid color in any view that you're working in, whether it's a plan view, a 3D view, or a cross-section view. You can color all the walls a complete color, so it makes your presentation a lot cleaner, a lot neater. So let me just throw a few room names in here. And we came up with some really great solutions for how we would use this. And one of the things that we talked about that was pretty cool was, as you're using it, your plan can tend to get really busy sometimes. So what we did is we made it so that your plan would be simplified. You won't have all this text all over and the dimensions all over. So it'll look simpler and cleaner when you're doing this. So in my template, I have a area set up called as-built plan, 1/4 inch to create dotted lines. So when we go to that, see how nice and simple that looks? Pretty clean. And what we did, let me show you what Poche looks like. So we'll go to this icon right here. This is going to allow us to edit this view. So I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to go to this setting right here. It's called Poche the walls. It's made for coloring the walls. Jill was saying that she would spend hours creating boxes over the walls or changing the color of the walls to get this effect. And when she saw this, she was, oh, that would have saved me a whole lot of time. And you can do upper, lower walls. These would be for your pony walls. So that works really well. So I'm going to just go black, click OK, and it colors the whole thing like that. So, and there's Kevin again. And it makes it really nice and clean. Now, some of the things we discovered is how could we do this so it's really easy to do. So when we're presenting to our client, we can turn this on and run with it in just a moment's notice. So we decided let's create a new plan view that we could do this with. So in that plan view, we'll need a plan view, and we're going to need a new layer set. And if we wanted to go even further with it, we'd create a new default set, but we're not going to do that right now. We'll just do the plan view and a layer set. And then we can turn our Poche and a few other things on and off in our plan. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do a save as for this particular plan view because it's set up pretty close to what I want already. So I'm going to save that plan view. And this, what we named it was called Marketing Poche. A little dash at the end. And we're going to click OK. So we created a new plan view. Now we need to create a new layer set. So we're going to go into our, we're going to go edit the plan view. So I'm going to click on that little pencil again right here. And I'm going to go to my selected defaults. And I'm going to go create a new layer set right here. All right. So right now it's set to that. So let's go define this. I'm in that layer set now, but let's copy that set. And let's name it our Marketing Poche. Marketing Poche dash. There we go. Okay, so we've got that in there now. Now I need to go, we don't need to make too many adjustments to it because we've already done some of that in that view. So now when I switch back to my other view, my architectural 1/4 inch, oh, I forgot to hit the save button. Okay, so when you see this message, it's asking me, oh yeah, you just made a bunch of changes to this new plan view that you created. Do you want to save those changes? And the way to know if it's something you want to do or not, and you'll see this a lot of times when you're working with different templates, that this will pop up and you're not quite sure what it means. Well, what it means is you've made some changes to the plan view, and we need to click this button or click yes. Okay, because we know what we've changed and we want to save those changes. So I'm going to click yes. So when I click back to my architectural plan, now I've got that here, and all my notes and my room names and things like that are turned on. In fact, I want to have my room names turned on in my Poche set. So let's go back to that Marketing Poche, turn that on, and let's go into our layers now and turn on our room names. room names. So that would be our room labels. And we'll click OK. And there we go. So now we've got our labels turned on. I could turn on the square footage or the sizes if I want to. Now we've got a super duper nice, clean way to communicate with our clients on the plan that we're working on. So let me show you what that looks like on a little bit larger plan. I wish I would have saved those changes we did earlier, but I didn't. But let me just open it anyway. And I'll just switch to that view and turn it on. You get a little better idea what it looks like on a bigger plan. I don't think I saved it. No, I didn't. So let's go back to my as built to create dotted lines. And let's go up to the first floor. So I've got a bunch of walls here. Actually, I want to just go back to here. In fact, let me just go create a new layer set real quick. And so I'm going to make a copy of this plan view. And I'll just call it Bucha. Click OK. I'm just going to grab this, turn a bunch of things off. I'll come back and undo this. But I just want to show you what it looks like on a plan with a lot more information in it. So I'm just doing my hide layer icon to turn some things off. And then let's go turn that on. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to my general, Bucha walls, click OK, and you're going to see what it looks like. So it gives you a really nice, clean plan that you can share with your clients. So that's a little bit about that. And the other thing we did, which you might find kind of cool, is we had some questions about room name size, okay, and room name font, and that you might have different room names in different locations for your different kinds of views. So let's talk about that for a second. Let's go back to this plan here. And so right now I've got the standard room names turned on that you would use when you are in a room and you've typed in a name, okay? But I want to make this display differently, and I want to have it so it turns on in this view. So what we're going to do is use some rich text. We're going to get a rich text box here. Go like that. And we're going to click on our plan to add that rich text box. And we're going to use a few macros. And what we're going to do is use the macro tool right here. And we're going to go object specific room. And then we're going to hit enter. And we're going to go global room info. And we're going to do which one did we do? Standard room area. And you'll notice on this list, there's a lot of things you could do that you could add to this text box. Ceiling height, finished floor elevation, things like that. So there's a lot of things you could add to this text box. So we're going to go ahead and center the text. We're going to make the room name itself bigger. Let's make that a 8-inch text. And you could change the font to whatever font you want to use. Let's go to, let's do that really big fat font. Okay, and I'll say yes, the text as built is not displayed. So turn that on. So what I need to do now is put this text box on a layer. All right, so I'm going to do that, open its dialog. I'll create a whole new layer set for our new room labels. So let's go define a new layer. I'll go room. Here's our room labels. Let's just call that, let's make a copy of that. We'll call it room labels, Bucha, because it's going to be on that page. And we'll click OK. So now we can control those labels separate from the other labels in our plan. So here's how we would use this. So in this particular plan, I haven't named other than those two rooms. But what I would do is I would hit copy. I would hit the push pin to lock the copy function. And then I would just go click in each room, and I'm going to paste those room labels. And you see how it picks up on each of the room labels. So when I go change the room label here to a different room, we'll call that a family room. There we go. So it does that. We still got the old room labels turned on. Let's turn those off for this view. So I'm using my hide layer icon. There we go. So now we've got different room labels here than we would have for our regular plan. Now I could just turn those off on our regular plan, and there you go. So we have two different styles of room labels that will both do the same information. So when I switch to the view that I'm going to work with my clients or for my marketing, boom, you got it like that. And they can be in different locations, and you just got a lot of flexibility with that. So that was a really fun thing that we went through this morning that worked really well for everybody. So I wanted to share that, and I hope that was beneficial for you guys. So there you go. All right, you guys. Who's up? What do you think? Uh-oh. Feedback. Someone's got to mute.
Do I get feedback?
You're
No,
good,
that
John.
should be
Oh,
volume over here. Can you hear me?
Can hear you fine. You sound good.
Only thing I have to show is that maybe I have a more advanced version of that.
Okay. Bring it on.
I was actually going to say, we felt when we were doing that text box stuff, we felt like we were Rene. Didn't we?
I felt like a rabbit. Let me tell you. I was starting to grow ears.
You said Xbox? You were using an Xbox controller in Chief?
Who
Is
is?
that what they said?
No. I don't
Oh.
think you were hearing right.
No.
I said text box. Text box.
box. Okay. This is hard to set
If
up.
anybody on the
different
call, if anybody on the call here has any questions, by all means, please enter them. We're here to
Yeah.
help you with those questions. Otherwise, we can just chat about different topics. So we really came into this with not a lot of preparation today, as you can probably tell. We're ad-libbing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the exact same concept that I use in my own templates. Instead of having room area, I have ceiling height. And then, if you get into some advanced macros, it can be formatted so that you're breaking up for a room type is driving how the formatting of the text is. So, I mean, that's kind of fun. That's some of the stuff that we're learning in kind of the advanced classroom. So it's nice without even discussing it. A lot of times the method that Dan is teaching in his main classroom over here at the summit, then we might have some people bouncing back and forth. And really, we feel like maybe we can pick up where the other person left off. So this is just an example of where we're doing conditional macros where clearly it says that my deck doesn't show a ceiling height, and that's on purpose, but I'm using the same rich text box. So we can do some really cool conditional advanced stuff.
Rene, when you mentioned that the text box size and stuff, size of the text can be driven by the room type, would that use that like for a closet where you want the room label to be smaller?
Absolutely. So if instead of closet, I change this room type to a room type I already built, which I could show you how to do this, right? So this is in my listed room types for my template plan. Let me just show you how I even got to that, okay, before I change this. I'm going to get into default settings. I know my icons are real small here. I'm going to get into default settings. Oh. And yeah, we're not quite prepared for this. Floors and rooms. Okay, room types. Now I would be doing this in my template plan. I'd be editing my template plan. If you didn't want to edit your template plan directly, we do have a save as template from the file menu. But I'm going to edit my template plan. That's just my preferred method. Very risky, but anyways, I'll pick room types. Sorry, all my menus are on my second screen here. I'll pick room types, and I can make a copy of closet. See, I can make this copy right here. Right. Boy, that's challenging. Sorry, all of my sub-edit menus are on the second screen. And then I can name this whatever we want. And so it's using the base room type of closet, meaning that the closet might have some kind of, what do we have available to us? Structure or surface, I said, setup, I think. So we can name this to whatever we want. We've now made a new room type. Every single menu. Every single menu is on my second screen. And now it's deriving its function from closet, right? So this would be a use case where we want a conditional macro to kind of do different things based on what the room type is, not the room name, based on what the room type is. So we're creating a new room type this way. And in this case, the function is closet. This would be the same way that you could do something that would automatically put a slab in your structure by maybe copying the room type of slab, right? Or excuse me, porch, something like that. So we can automatically kind of create like a mono slab structure or something like that.
As
So-
someone that's grown up with Chief Architect, I find it interesting how they've taken those original room names. Those room names have been in Chief since version 1, and that they've really never added to them. That's kind of the original list of room names, which are now called room types. And they've made it so that we can now take those room types and make them into different kinds of rooms. So it's really interesting how they did that. And they still maintain their original intent of that and made it more flexible.
So I'm going to move this label and center it in the room. And notice that when I change the room type to that CLST instead, that's just letting me know I want an abbreviated room name right here. It's also going to stack my ceiling height portion as well. So it's formatting conditionally based on the room type. So that'd be kind of an advanced scripting thing that we're going over here.
So that didn't necessarily change the size of it, did it? Or did it?
No,
You just
no,
used
it,
the
well,
abbreviation.
it stacked the label. So ceiling height was broken up into an
Oh.
extra line, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
But that looks good. You could use that in just about any closet.
That's all I got. It's your
I
turn.
I love your cursor. Show everybody
Yeah.
your new cursor.
My cursor is built specifically for the rest of the class here because I'm trying to teach people to move things orthogonally with right click, which is an alternate, right? So right click is alternate mode. Left click is your standard mode for anything. So when we right click some object, then it's very easy to move it orthogonally. So when you see the Kevin Transue head, you know, this is a reminder, we should right click to move our item.
Kevin, you must be awfully proud to have your own cursor on Renee's machine.
Just to give another example of this, I love drawing in 3D. It's my favorite thing to do. I don't like drawing in 2D nearly as much as I like drawing in 3D. So if I do a left click here to move this, it can kind of move all over the place, right? If we right click, it's really bound in a direction. So it's bound orthogonally, either up or back in this case. And then we could use the select next side in 3D. Select next side is in your edit toolbar. Mine's floating on the wrong screen. That would be this icon right here. That guy. Select next side makes it so that, you guessed it, I can select the next side of this item. Oops. And that makes it so it's really easy to move this with a right click orthogonally this way. I could select next side again, move it orthogonally the other way.
Yeah, you
Very
are
easy to
really
move
good
it.
at drawing in 3D.
Yeah.
Can you
Takes
also
practice.
hold down the control key? Can you hold down the control key in that mode and release the snaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin's flying all over the place. Ah! Yeah, exactly.
Calm down, Kevin, will you? That's great. We're not very talkative here because we are having bandwidth issues with our internet. So we're all being real careful and quiet, and we don't want to crash this whole show. So
can one of you guys help Norman out here?
I had a computer meltdown as a result of a system corruption. That's called user error. Okay. And then had to reload Chief. All files still on the computer, but not backed up. I had to reload Chief all, but not backed up. Can I restore models and materials into catalog from files? We'd have to kind of define what you mean by files. So our user library.collibs file by default on a PC is going to live in my documents folder, Chief Architect, Premiere X16 in this case. And you could overwrite the existing user library with one if you had it backed up. By default, Chief Architect installs on a PC within my documents, which means if you chose when you set up your PC or if you bought it pre-configured, by default, it's backing up to OneDrive. OneDrive can cause some data redundancy issues, duplicates where we lose some data. It's possible, but some nice things about OneDrive is we might be able to revert back to some previous version. So if you are on a Windows machine, you might be able to revert back to a previous installation. Also, if you have those source files, you could also potentially drop it into a Chief Architect X15 folder and then reset migration in X16. That would be another way of doing it. You have to know more about what files we're talking about exactly. Are these user data files, are these toolbars, etc.? You tell us more, Norman. And then Paul, ask your question. Yeah.
Yeah, by all means, Paul, chime in. We're here to help. So is that text? Someone asked a question about the text. So is that text that is formatted or is a room label? So that it's a macro that is displaying the room label in a text box. So here I'll add my screen to the stage. If I have mine up here yet, do I? We have to pull Renee's down first, I think. There we go. Now I can add mine, I think. Oh, here I am. So let me bring up Chief. So the way the room labels are showing up here is the macro that's being used for that room label is, percentage room percentage, and then percentage room dot area dot standard. That's a macro in Chief. So Chief's going to read that. So I changed that label. I just changing the room name right here. So, okay, I could go new room name right here. And that's going to show up in that box. So you still change your room names exactly the way you've done it before, but we just have a different way of displaying it here than Chief's standard room name thing, which I can still use that in different views if I want to. So there's Chief's standard default room name. The thing about this one is the room name height in my plan right here is 7 inches. The square footage labels below that are also the same size as this. So when we look at our layers, we can't change. So if I type in the word room here, you notice that we have these 3 different room type of things we can put in our rooms: area, dimension, and standard area. And we have a text size here that we could change. We would think we could change those 2, but we can't. So the room labels here are controlled by this right here. So the size of those labels are controlled by that text size for the room labels. So you would think it'd be separate, but it's not. It doesn't work. So that's why it's really nice to use that macro. All right. What do we got?
Paul did
Any
put
other
his
questions?
question in there. Paul has his question in there.
Okay, cool. What's his question?
Is there an easy way to build a water table around a building? What specifically about the water table? Are you trying to model something or just note that something's there?
I don't think we're getting an answer yet. Paul, when you have a chance to type in, give us a little bit more
Sorry.
information.
Thank you.
helpful.
I was muted when I just asked that question. Sorry. Yeah, Robin, you just asked what I just asked. So thank
There you
you.
go. He is. He's saying, yes, showing it at the bottom of the siding. So I don't understand the question very well, but maybe you guys do.
Are you talking about a story pole? Are we talking about a story pole, or are we talking about like a rim board or something like that that would show up in 3D? No?
So wait, can you explain to me what is he asking for? What is a water table? I have one idea of it, but what does that mean in construction? one of you guys are smart enough to tell me, what is a water table in construction?
Might have to Google that.
Guys,
one.
we think he's
Band
talking
around
about a cap. We think he's talking about a cap, not a water table as a
Band, okay.
representation.
Oh,
like a freeze board or something like that at the base. Yeah, I can show that
got
real
it.
quick.
Okay.
Yeah, let me show
Yeah,
that.
so
We
we're
talked
just talking
about
about a pony wall with a cap.
That's
Or
exactly
just-
what
or a 3D molding line. Could be a 3D molding polyline too. So let me show
That's-
that real quick. Am I
most people are saying.
showing my screen?
So here's what he's talking about. A water table is a skirt board that is at the bottom of the siding below the first course of siding. So just
Here.
do the molding polyline around the building and put a molding on it.
Yeah. So click on the outside of your building, click near, and you get a highlight around the building. And we were just talking about this morning as well. And what you're going to do is click on this icon right here. And that's going to add a molding polyline around whatever you've got highlighted. It could be inside a room, could be outside of a building. And I'm going to click on that, and that's going to ask me, it's going to put a blank molding at a 0-inch height. Now, if we're going to be higher on the wall, maybe you're doing a cap, to cover the wainscoting or something like that, you could put a height in there and it would put it at that height. But I'll just leave it set at 0 and click OK. The 0 would be the top of the plywood on the first floor. That's going to be the top of the molding at this point. So I'll click OK, and it adds a box around the outside of the house, a CAD box. And it's going to cut out where the doors are because the doors are part of 0. And I'm going to open the dialog for that box. And I'm going to go to molding, and I'm going to find a molding that would work for what I want to do. And I'll just grab, I have something like this. It's got a little cap on it. So any profile that you can draw, any shape you can draw, it could be, you could have a little tilt on it, and, just draw it with the CAD lines, draw a profile, keep the back side of the molding to the left side of the screen. Okay. It's the best way to draw these profiles. And notice all of Chief's profiles are drawn with the back to the left side of the screen. And then you're going to click OK. Select it, click OK. Chief's going to add that to your molding line all around your plan. So when you bring up a 3D view now, it's going to show, but I tell you right now, what's going to happen is it's going to show on the inside of the wall because I forgot to click something. So let me click on that line again, and I can click on it from here, open its dialog, and I forgot to click that little button right there to extrude it on the outside of the polyline, not the inside of the polyline. So now that will wrap around the building. And see how it cuts out around the door? I could click on that and adjust the height of it. If I want it below the door, I might go, it's 9 1/4 inch tall. I'll go horizontal minus 9 1/4 to the top. Click OK. Going to put it down. Oh, I guess I went too far. Did I do that right? I went too far down. I guess it was to the top already, over to the bottom. There we go. And then I could click on this box right here and turn that molding back on. So I just click here, turn that molding back on, and now it continues through. And there's your board around the bottom. Is that what you're looking for?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and
You did it.
Dan, can I have you put that back up on the screen? Can I walk you through
You
one more
bet.
thing that might be nice?
Absolutely. What do you got?
Can you select your exterior wall, just any exterior wall, open it up,
Mhm.
get into wall types, go ahead and define, and
Mhm.
then put a negative extension the size of your skirt board, water table board on the siding. And this would be in the case that if you want your siding picked up over the height of your skirt board, water table board. So you put a negative 9 extension.
The extension?
Yep. -9
Oh.
is what size of your
No.
molding was.
I've never
And
noticed that column before.
And then just pressed OK.
See? You learn something new every day. So it's going to take siding off of the bottom of that wall.
Well, it should
Maybe have to have a foundation or something in there first.
Yeah, try building the foundation.
Okay, let me do that. Let's build the foundation. Come on, Chief. Floor tools, build foundation. Click OK. OK. Go up. There, it did it. So it's in relative to the top of the foundation. So of course that, I need to do some adjusting here. It depends on your floor joist thicknesses, things like that. But yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. That's cool. You can also extend You can also extend the wall down if you want to create a brick ledge or something. I've done that many times. What was that, John?
I just wanted to make a comment about Paul's, what he said here about the freeze board. In chief lingo, the freeze board is the trim that goes underneath the soffit against the wall.
On the top.
That you can put on automatically. So that's what chief calls a freeze board. It's the trim board underneath the soffit.
And what is this one again? It's called the water table. I now that we've done this, and I've heard that many times. So
that's a regional name for that piece, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. What are some of the other terms for that water table?
Skirt board.
Skirt board, yeah. Cool.
Band board. I've heard band board before.
Yeah.
A belt board.
Hey guys, I feel like this is a planted question.
You think Kevin put that in there?
Yeah, I think he did. Where are you, Kevin? You know, at this event, Kevin roams around and he offers advice and he's giving it out for free, man. And it's really invaluable stuff. And he's got a lot of cool, insightful things to explain to you. He hosts our business discussions at night here. Last night, we talked about contract writing. I've been writing my own contract since I was 16. I've written every contract for every company I've ever worked for. And I learned some new stuff last night from him. So it's pretty fun being here, having the business discussions outside of learning about chief architects.
Okay, so put up the
what's
new.
the answer to that question? What's the answer to that question, Kevin? Kevin, do you offer that?
Okay, I'm going to jump on here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yes, the answer is yes.
Hearing us?
And please contact me, and I'd be happy to help you with whatever I can. I'm trying not to cause feedback.
Salesman, that's a good salesman right there. Yeah.
I'm trying not to cause any feedback here, so I'm trying to be quiet and hang out in the couch cushions.
Renee, Kevin, you hanging out in the couch cushions. That's funny.
I'm going to show something that we just built on my side of the wall over here.
Whatever.
We built a new style palette tool. Anytime you have either a that's a good one. I can make him one. Does Kevin have a Rene cursor? That'd be good. Anytime we have any type of cabinet, any exterior or interior door, any window, any room, any countertop, we can add those to what are called style palettes. And style palettes make it so that we can save certain attributes from any one of those objects as kind of a tool to apply to some new object of the same type. Okay. And so what I mean by that is if I open up this base cabinet, and it's going to be on the wrong screen. If I open up this base cabinet, this has got some a face configuration that we could apply to some other cabinet. It's got some materials or moldings, etc., that we could apply to some other cabinet with the style palette tool. This is a really easy way to do a couple things. Change the overall look and feel of a room very quickly, or you can use it as kind of a utility to apply new features to something. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to do just a little split screen right here so you can see the camera. And we're going to notice, oh, I got a really ugly wall cabinet. I've got a wall cabinet here. I've got a base cabinet here. In case you can't see these, let's maybe turn on a little ray trace view or something. Oh, every time. So I've got a wall cabinet, base cabinet, full height cabinet, and an exterior door here. Watch what I do when I'm in this plan view and I've got a tool coming from my library. From my library, I get to, in my edit toolbar, which mine's floating in the center of my screen, I'm going to choose marquee mode. What this is going to do is it's going to apply a bunch of saved styles from base cabinet, wall cabinet, full height cabinet, and door. And it's whatever I draw a marquee around, it will apply those features to. So when I let go of my cursor, watch on the right-hand side, we got a full height double door, full height double door, full height double door, and we happen to have generated a Dutch door, which was a custom symbol we made in the class.
Well, that was easy. You do that very well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Jolene is here. Let me introduce Jolene. Many of you have seen Jolene in our classes before, and Jolene is here helping out in the kitchen. She's helping with some marketing classes. Last night, you had a good talk on SEO.
We had a great talk on SEO. Yes.
What's Jolene's company's name?
Oh, well, thanks for inviting me up. I'm Jolene Emery from Big Raven Media. Been working with Dan for almost 8 years. So a lot of things you see on the front of the house, I'm working on behind the scenes. But I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the topics that we've been talking about here, or marketing questions you might have in your business right now. Or maybe my team will throw me some questions if that doesn't work.
Kevin, get on over. Oh man, I'm trying to fix a logo. Am I?
Jolene, tell
Jolene,
everybody a bit about Google Business.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's do a little marketing session for a couple minutes.
Okay. So Dan's asking for me to talk a little bit about Google Business and using your Google Business profile. So in your business, if you're thinking about, am I going to do SEO? Am I going to do social media? What am I going to do? I think the most important thing to do is make sure that you have set up and that you manage and maintain your Google Business profile. It's really important to feed the machine, to let it know who you are and what you're about. On mobile, you can access your Google Business profile through Google Maps, and it just takes a few minutes to set up. So I encourage all of you to Google your businesses right now and see what comes up in Google. If it says claim this business, that means that it hasn't been set up yet, and it definitely needs to be. So do that for sure. And of course, think about your reviews, think about content. I would encourage you to post to your Google Business profile the same way that you post to social. In fact, I think it's probably more important because you want Google to know who you are and what you're about. So post pictures. Make sure that you have a strategy for getting reviews. And there's a shortcut link so that you can make it easier for people you've done work for, your evangelists, to talk about how awesome you are. Give them that shortcut link, and it'll make their life so much easier to get there, to leave a review about the work you do, because we all vet and ask lots of questions and do a lot of research before we choose a restaurant. So we're certainly going to do that before choosing someone to handle probably what is our most valuable and expensive asset, which is our home. So I would definitely encourage you to get that done for sure. Yes. Do I have any tips on getting fake negative reviews taken down? So inside your profile, there is a button called Report a Concern. Report it every day. Just keep reporting it over and over and over again. Eventually, the folks at Google will get sick of you doing that, and they should listen to you. So make sure you stay on it, and also make sure that you respond to it. Say something about whatever it is that they've said, but be professional. If they've shot you low, make sure that you explain from a professional vantage point. But I don't think that you need to just take it on the chin necessarily. I think use your words, and you can even say, I don't recall having done business with you. Can you give me a little bit more information so I can make it right? It says to the people actually reading that fake review that that's probably what it is, without you saying this is a fake review and knock it off. But do those two things: report a concern and respond to the comment. Any other questions? That was good. I think that's it. All right, Renee, was there something you were saying?
No, there's that one. There's Michelle's question.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for the minute.
Thank you. Hey, Michelle,
Thanks, Jolene.
I want to respond to Michelle for a second. Michelle, remember the stair issue that you and I worked on? I think if you go to your preferences, and I can't remember where it is, but if you check move stairs independently, I think that will solve that stair issue that you and I worked on. I can't remember where it is. Where is, I don't have my computer to be able to find that. Where is the access to be able to find where's to move stairs independently in preferences? Michelle had an issue a while ago, a few weeks ago, and I think that will solve her problem. Anybody? Anybody?
All right, were you asking a question? I missed that.
Where is move stairs independently? It's under preferences.
It's in preferences.
Yeah, well, where is that? So Michelle can find it. And then Michelle has another question about a door opening. I keep putting it up and somebody keeps pulling it down. Right there. So we'll find that spot, Michelle, but look for it. It's in preferences. I can't remember where it is, but I think that'll solve that problem that you were looking at. And then we'll answer your next question.
It's in architectural under preferences. So edit preferences, or if you're on a Mac, just Chief Architect logo preferences, and then architectural panel. And then we're going to do
right there. It's up under stairs, the second section.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah.
Okay, now answer Michelle's other question.
Michelle's
Please.
other question is pretty challenging, actually. What do we have? We got 8 minutes. Okay.
You can do it, Renee. I got confidence in you.
Is it though, Renee? Couldn't you just wrap a quick molding polyline around the doorway and attach a molding to it? And bada bing, bada
Oh, it sounds
boom?
like Kevin's got it. Kevin, you want to share your screen?
No.
All right, we got to place an exterior door. We got to open this door up. And actually, let me just make this full size.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Could you just wrap a molding polyline around the jamb and casing and apply molding to it, and therefore you've added the molding to the bottom of the door opening?
Yes, but we're missing a few steps. We're going to make sure the way we convert a door, we got to make sure all elements of a door are removed. The door is a specific symbol. It's just talking about the door panel only when you create a door. So this is a little bit more complex than that. This would be considered something advanced, upper intermediate, right? Advanced level 1 maybe. So we do have to come in, remove exterior casing, interior casing. I'm going to avoid doing zoom on this because we don't have enough time. So just listen to me as I'm discussing it. Maybe blow this up on a big screen. So interior casing, exterior casing, turn those off. We're going to turn off any kind of threshold, sill, anything like that. You're going to turn off any kind of jam. You have to get this down to just the base door. That includes hardware. So we have to set everything to none in hardware, including hinges, hidden, no locks, nothing. We want this to just be the door panel itself. That's it. Okay, once we have that, we could take the room. So I'm selecting the room now in 3D. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Selecting the room in 3D. I'm going to do what's called make room molding polyline from the room itself. Okay, that's going to convert this room. Brings up a little dialog box that you can't see. There we go. It's going to let me choose which molding I'd like to convert. In this case, I only have a base molding, so that's the CA28. All right, I'm going to press OK. That's converting this molding. All right, I want to select the molding edit handle right in front of the door here, and then I want to disconnect that selected edge. This isolates just that selection, and then while it's still selected, we can see this because Kevin Transue says it's there. And then we're going to add molding back to that selected edge, okay? Now that we have that molding in place and it's still selected, I need to select the door as well. So I can hold Control with it to select the door. Then in my Edit toolbar, I can choose Convert Selected to Symbol, okay? It's gonna bring up a new dialog box. We need to choose the symbol category of door. Name this whatever you'd like. add it to library. We do need to show advanced options and then press OK. From there, we need to adjust the bounding box. Right now, and my class just learned this by creating the Dutch door. Right now, Chief Architect sees this door as the size of the full door plus the base molding, which means when it's installed, it's going to shrink this down to 1 3/4 in the case of my template plan. So I want to adjust the bounding box so that it no longer includes the base molding when Chief Architect sees it as an architectural object. So what do I have to do? Well, one, I'd probably offset in the 3D panel in the Y position. We need to offset it by the thickness of this base molding. So we want to offset this in positive leg Y. So this blue line here represents positive Y. If we zoom out far enough, that's the Y leg, okay? So I'm going to move this positive leg Y. It happens to be my base molding is 5/8 of an inch. So when I do that, we're going to see that it moved the geometry up to the baseboard there. Next part is I'm going to get into advanced sizing panel, and I need to uncheck update when object dimensions change. If this is not unchecked, when you make some change to dimensions here or here, it's going to change the dimensions of the mesh itself, which means it's going to change the dimensions of the door plus the baseboard. Once I uncheck that, I might be able to type in 1.75 here, see what it does. Notice it adds an adjustment to the front side of the bounding box. Notice that the bounding box is now, it's almost aligned with my slab door. It turns out I had the dimension of my base molding a little bit off.
Okay, but that's not what she's asking.
So the question was, she wants to
really,
she wants
Yeah.
to replace the mold, where
serious?
the jam would be. She wants a piece of molding to go there.
She wants to just wrap
To
the
wrap the
inside of the
corner.
doorway. So the doorway, it's a doorway. She wants the molding to go around it. Can't you just grab the molding polyline, which
So
is what
Kevin
I
had
put
a good
in
answer.
all
Talking
around
about
the
for
room?
casing? We just want
Hey,
with the base molding
stop,
as
you
a
guys,
casing?
gentlemen, stop, stop. She has a doorway. She wants the molding to go around the molding, around the doorway. Michelle, have you,
gonna be
you
a-
know this stuff. Have you
Around it
tried
in what direction? What do you mean
It's gonna-
around it?
going
It's
around
gonna be-
so
it's
on the
gonna-
inside of the doorway? So the door comes out.
You're talking about the
inside of
casing?
doorway. Yeah, she wants the baseboard to go all the way around the doorway opening.
So
You mean like I said?
Michelle,
like Kevin said.
I quit.
okay. Honestly, you guys, you need to know that I did say to Rene at some point, I was going to have to sit next to him and hit him when he started going way over the top. So this is a virtual hit.
Okay, so
Michelle,
Renee, take
try
that
to
door. Renee, hang on a second. Renee, take that door and turn the door off, the jams off, the trim off, everything. So you got a sheetrock opening.
You don't even need to do that.
Do it with an interior door. Do an interior door.
No, you don't.
Where the
wants it with
base
the
trim is
doorway,
the
you
same on both
guys.
sides.
Oops.
You guys, it's a doorway, not
Or-
a door.
Or you could take a molding polyline and wrap it around the door and attach a
that's
piece
what
of
I
molding to
said.
it and just be done.
And that's what I was saying.
Right.
She wants a doorway, not a
Take the
door.
door out of there too. It's a doorway,
Like
Renee. It's a doorway.
Doorway.
Yeah, that right there. There you go.
I
Did you
don't
do that
think
with a
she wants
molding
it. I'm
polyline?
not giving it to her.
That's what I was saying, you guys. Michelle, I think you got it. I
Go
hope
back to
that answers
2
your question.
and turn it around the corner.
And there is literally a doorway option, Renee.
Actually, I probably have a much easier method than this. Hold on. We'll do it real fast.
Easier than a molding
Too smart
polyline?
for
Are
her
you
own good.
kidding
Yeah,
me?
that's true.
Okay, I think we're done. Thank you, Michelle, for that great question.
Yeah, that got us going good. All right, we're about done here.
Yeah, way to-
So,
way
Kevin,
to
how
start
do
a
people
fight,
get a hold of
Michelle.
you?
If you want to
You guys
reach
wanna
me,
get a
you can
hold of
reach me at
Kevin for
Kevin
some
at
really good
designbuildexperts.com.
Or go to designbuildexperts.com. They can probably reach you there too, right?
Yes, they can.
But yeah, give Kevin a call. He's if you're looking for business advice, Kevin and Judy are your team to help you. So check them out. And while you're at it, go to rabbitdesign.net and buy all of Renee's stuff. He needs to buy food this month. So
I'd like to ask Michelle if we answered her question. Michelle, did we
I'm
answer?
malnourished.
Was your question answered, Michelle? She's not even going to answer.
all right, I think we're done. The time is up.
Have a great
I want
day.
you guys, thank you guys for being joining us today. I hope you got a few tidbits out of
Wait.
this and a chuckle or two. Wait for what?
Let's go back to that doorway one more time.
Okay.
Put Rene, bring your screen back up, Rene.
Yes.
Put an interior wall. Oh, right there. Did you do that with a molding polyline?
Thank you,
Yes.
Michelle. We got the answer.
God, that is
No.
such a good idea.
Wait, we're not done yet. Put another doorway in. Put another doorway in and make it a doorway and turn the jamb and the casing off. And then show us the picture of it.
John.
Did you,
That's the molding.
you must have something going on with your door.
Turn it off.
So it puts it in automatically when you don't have the casing or the jamb on. I haven't checked that out necessarily, but
It's supposed to. It doesn't always do it though.
right.
All right, you guys. Enough playing around.
Did we have fun today?
I
We
had fun
something
today.
that's for sure. Cool. Everybody, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Summit goes till next.
Automatic.
We go. What's that?
Chris, you can do it with the sandwich
By
show.
turning off jam and casing.
Chris, just if you're asking that question, yes, if you apply the shoe molding to your molding polyline, then yes, you can do the same thing with it.
Yep.
Yeah, if you remove your jam and casing, it's automatically wrapping.
It's supposed to.
Not
But
in a doorway.
I've
It
seen
doesn't
places
wrap
where it
the
doesn't.
doorway.
It does.
It does. No jam and casing, it wraps automatically.
There you go. It's supposed to.
Thanks, everybody,
I've
for
seen
joining us.
I've seen times when it didn't. Yes. Thanks, everybody. We'll see
Bye-bye.
you all next time. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.